Talladega Super Speedway, Dover, the Monster Mile. Man, NASCAR's got some cool track names. How's it going, everybody? My name is Eric, and welcome to the predictions episode of Out of the Groove. It's the Thursday edition of the show, which means I'll be talking about Dover primarily, this next weekend's race. So I'll be going over my top 3 drivers to watch out for, including my pick. I'll be talking about my 3 dark horses, and of course, the biggest disappointment that I expect this weekend. But first, I'll start out. Congratulations to Dale and Amy Earnhardt with the birth of their daughter. Good for them. Moving on, the big 3, the top 3 drivers I think we need to look out for this Sunday. I'll start with Kyle Busch. I know, this is kind of boring. It's Kyle Busch. He's won 3 races already this year. He's the points leader. It's a boring pick. I get it. But he's a boring pick because he's also the most obvious pick, and that's why none of us are really surprised to hear me talk about him. Before Talladega, and I've talked about this, Kyle Busch was in the middle of a 7-race top 3 streak, including 3 straight wins. And Talladega's so zany, we can't really hold that against him, so Kyle Busch is still the hottest driver in NASCAR. And we're going to a track where he won the most recent race at Dover last October, and it's a track that Toyota has typically been very strong at in the last few years. So Kyle Busch, it's tough to not have him on our radar. But I get it, he's a boring pick. I'll go on to my second big 3 driver, which is maybe a little bit more of an exciting pick. That's right, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I know I just made a video talking about how a lot of these young drivers have not lived up to the hype. This could be the weekend where Chase Elliott takes his first big steps into superstardom. Chase Elliott, in his 4 career Cup Series races at Dover, has finished in the top 5 in all of them. He had the race won at Dover in October, the one that Kyle Busch ultimately snuck up and passed him with like 2 to go. He had that race won until he got out-veteraned by Kyle Busch, but I think Chase Elliott learned from that, and if his car is anything like it was that race, and really the other 3 races he's raced at Dover, he's going to be tough to beat. Chase Elliott's kind of also riding a hot streak. I said Kyle Busch is the hottest driver in NASCAR, and yeah, when you have 7 straight top 3 finishes, that's you deserve that title. But Chase Elliott finished top 3 at Richmond and top 3 at Talladega, so he's coming off a 2nd and a 3rd place finish. Could he get that elusive 1st place finish this weekend at Dover? Might just work out for him. So that's a more exciting pick. My 3rd driver of the big 3 is Martin Truex Jr. And we haven't talked that much this year about the defending series champion. He's got a win. He won at Auto Club, so he's been good. He's up there pretty high in points, but he's been up and down. He's had some not so great runs. He's had some wrecks, gotten caught up in wrecks. And he's definitely not been the dominant Martin Truex Jr. we saw for a lot of last year. But I talked about how Toyota and Gibbs has been so good at Dover in years past. Martin Truex Jr. is no exception. He's got 3 straight top 4 finishes in the last 3 Dover races. He's got 2 career wins here at Dover. Expect Martin Truex Jr. to possibly turn things around or maybe start to create a streak of consistency for that 78 car that we haven't really seen too much of this year. He'll get back maybe to his 2017 ways a little bit. We might see the start of that this weekend at the Monster Mile. So those are my big 3, the 3 drivers you definitely need to watch out for on Sunday. If you want my conclusive, my decisive pick, my 1 pick driver to win this race, I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I know. The other 2 are a little bit safer picks. They're driving the Toyotas that have been good at Dover. They've got wins at Dover in their careers, and they've both been really hot at Dover in recent years. But Chase Elliott, I'm really feeling it this week. Hendrick Motorsports has looked a little better as an organization the last couple weeks. At Richmond, they had some, Jimmy Johnson had a top 10 run at Richmond, which we hadn't seen this year, so that was a good sign for him. Chase Elliott's finished, like I said, 2nd at Richmond and 3rd at Talladega, and he was the first to admit that they weren't a 2nd place car at Richmond. But they've been so good at Dover the last 2 years he's been in the Cup Series. Sure, maybe the Camaro, they haven't quite gotten a handle of that yet, so his car may not be quite there as much as it has been in the past. But I think Chase Elliott's got more experience. He has the experience of losing in heartbreaking fashion at Dover like he did last year. I think he's learned from that. I think Chase Elliott, can we say it's a surprise? Can we really say Chase Elliott's going to surprise us with a win at Dover this week? He just might, I guess. I think this is the best chance I've felt all season for Chase Elliott getting his first career win. So we'll see if it happens. He's my pick. So now we move on to the dark horse drivers. The drivers that maybe are flying under your radar just a little bit because they haven't really had too much success lately or in their careers. But these are guys you're going to have to watch out for this weekend. I can just about guarantee you. I'll start with another Hendrick driver. I'm going to get on this little Hendrick train here. Alex Bowman. Bowman, much like Hendrick Motorsports kind of as a whole, like I said, has gotten better finishes the last few weeks, a little bit better finishes. He was 5th at Bristol, which is kind of like just a smaller Dover. I know they're not really the same, but they have some similarities. Dover's just a bigger Bristol, I don't know. But he was 5th there, and he's coming off a 10th place, top 10 run at Talladega where he looked strong. Most of the Hendrick cars looked okay at Talladega. So I'm going to say he's hopefully riding riding a little bit of momentum. He's been the most consistent Hendrick car all year. He's not my pick to win, but I think if you're looking at a top 10, maybe a top 5 pick for Alex Bowman, I think that's definitely very realistic, and I think that's definitely very possible. So I'm going to put Alex Bowman on this list. Plus, last October, Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished 7th at Dover. And last year, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 88 car was not that good, but he had a good run at Dover. So maybe Greg Ives, maybe just that 88 team, they kind of know how to set up Dover. So we'll see how Bowman does. My second dark horse pick is Daniel Suarez. This one might be a little bit of a stretch because Suarez has really had just a disappointing season to this point. He's had some decent runs, but he has not gotten any of the finishes to show for it. He's really been taking a step backwards, honestly, since his rookie year, and it doesn't feel like he's driving any worse. It just feels like circumstances and maybe the cars or something have hurt him this year. But Suarez has disappointed me this year. I think Dover could be the track for him to really make some noise and have himself a good run for this year. He's driving one of those Gibbs Toyotas, which I expect to be good at Dover. I'm going to keep harping on that. The Toyotas have been just so good at Dover in the last few years and at shorter tracks, I should say. So I think Suarez, he's got that going for him. Plus, last year in his rookie season, he didn't make the playoffs last year. Keep that in mind. He finished, outside the playoffs, didn't make the playoffs, but he did finish 8th and 6th in the 2 races at Dover last year. So that's an average finish of 7. I get it's a small sample size, but like I said, Suarez didn't have a very good rookie year, but Dover was a bright spot. And I hope that he's taken what he learned from last year and maybe can move that into this year. And I think he has another top 10 run in him. Maybe top 5. Maybe he sneaks up there and contends for the win. You never know. Those Gibbs cars can be sneaky on you. So Suarez, my second dark horse pick. And now my third dark horse pick is it's controversial only because he's not really a dark horse, at least not at Dover. I'm going to go with Jimmie Johnson. And I'm calling him a dark horse because his last win in the Cup Series was 1 year ago when he won at Dover. But this last year has probably been the worst 365-day stretch of Jimmie Johnson's Cup Series career. He's moved into the top 16 in points because he's had a couple okay finishes in a row now. I think he finished 12th at Talladega, but he had a couple top 10s in the last couple races before that. But he hasn't run that well. He was a lap down at Richmond at one point, managed to fight back and get a top 10 there. So Jimmy's still not a great race car. He spun out all by himself once again at Talladega. He isn't exactly a hot driver by any means, but he has 11 career wins at Dover. And that stat alone makes you think he should be considered one of the favorites or one of the big drivers. He's not a dark horse, but I'm just going off of his recent lack of success. And I think this could be a good weekend for Jimmie Johnson. He could win this race. I give him a better chance of winning than Suarez or Bowman. I'd think Jimmie Johnson, he'll either come out and run 20th, and we'll know that something's up with that team for sure, definitively, or he'll come out and run top 5 and possibly sneak in there and contend for a win. I think both are very likely. He's going to be real hit or miss this weekend at Dover. I'm leaning more towards the hit. I think they'll be good, but we'll see. I'm putting him as a dark horse because I wanted to talk about him. So there you have it. Big 3 out of the way. Pick is out of the way. Top 3 dark horses. Now, I always try to come up with 3 for each of these categories, but I couldn't come up with 3 disappointments this week. I could really only think of one driver that I thought was worth possibly talking about or who I have negative vibes about, and that driver is Denny Hamlin. I say disappointment because Denny Hamlin's been real hit or miss this year, I gotta say. He's been very inconsistent, which is kind of uncharacteristic for him. He's never won at Dover in the past. And if you look at this year, the Gibbs cars, Kyle Busch has been good at these shorter racetracks, but Denny Hamlin has been noticeably off from him, especially when we went to Martinsville and when we went to Bristol. Denny Hamlin really didn't have a great car. He was pretty good at Richmond. He had a good finish at Richmond, but Denny Hamlin's one of the best at Richmond. So I think he maybe overcame some of the struggles that his car was giving him. So Denny Hamlin at Dover doesn't have a win here. The cars haven't been there too much for him. Denny Hamlin's a driver we expect to contend for top 5s and top 10s week in, week out. This could be a week where we don't see that from the 11 car. So that's why I have him as one of my potential disappointments. And actually, my only potential disappointment. I thought about throwing some other names. I thought about maybe Kyle Larson because he's kind of been, again, hit or miss this year. But I have good hopes for Kyle Larson because he's been pretty good at Dover in the past. So I think I'm going to just leave it at Denny Hamlin. So yeah, there you have it. Picks, predictions, big 3, disappointments, dark horses, all of that. Thanks for watching, guys. Gosh, this has been like every Chase Elliott fans. All you Chase Elliott fans, I expect a thumbs up. I picked your guy to win. I said Denny Hamlin was going to disappoint. My goodness, can I get a thumbs up? Yeah, this is a Chase Elliott fan's dream today. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Michael Harrison and all of our Out of the Groove sponsors. You too can sponsor the show if you check out the link down below. If you want to promote your Twitter, your YouTube channel, something like that, let me know on Patreon and I can set that up for you. Thanks to everyone who chooses to contribute on there. I do a podcast every Wednesday. I did an episode last night. I do a podcast every Wednesday with The Iceberg and Danny B Talks, so you can check out their channels, probably on the side somewhere. They're all over the place. But thanks everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Follow me on Twitter, all that stuff. What else? I always forget what else to shout out here, guys. Anyway, hope this weekend's race at Dover is great. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I figured I'd announce this right here, right now. This is going to be my last episode for a little while of Out of the Groove because I'll be on vacation basically from Monday, no, really, from Sunday, this coming Sunday through the next Saturday. So basically all week I will be out of town. I will hopefully be able to watch most of the Dover race, and I hopefully will be home in time to watch Matt Kenseth's debut at Kansas Saturday night next week. So hopefully I get to watch the races, but unfortunately next week I don't think there will be any Out of the Groove episodes. I will be out of town and unable to film and upload. So this is gonna be the last episode for about 9 or 10 days. Shoot, I'll be back I guess next Sunday after the Kansas race. But yeah, so it's going to be a little while before you see my face again. I'll try to upload something next week. Hopefully I'll have something in the works that I can upload in the meantime. But yeah, this is going to be the last Out of the Groove for a little while. So hopefully you guys can get your NASCAR fixes elsewhere. Don't forget about me. Please don't forget about me. I'll still be here very soon. This summer is going to be crazy. Mid-May, once I get back from vacation, summer is going to be officially upon us. Be hitting the ground running, man. We got Out of the Grooves. We're going to have some Doubly Cup series. That's right. We're going to have a NASCAR parody probably. A lot of the old things that this channel has always kind of been about are going to be coming back, plus these Out of the Grooves all the time. So there's going to be plenty of stuff. Thanks for the support. Thanks for always sticking with me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in about a week and a half. Goodness, I'll be thinking about y'all. Have a good one, everybody.